Hey guys, and what's up? Welcome to another episode of The Quest for Gaming at College here on Poolshed Games. I am the Merc, and today we're going to be talking about getting back into the game. Essentially what I mean by that is, if y'all watched the video from last week, you will know that I got no gaming done at all. I didn't even get my Friday night Pathfinder group, though I did get to play Dystopian Wars, which was an okay compromise. Also, I hope that the audio isn't too funky in here. I moved into my new dorm building, as you can see. This is neither the office, my house, or the old dorm. It's my new dorm building. I'm not sure how the acoustics are in here yet. Heaven forbid I might have to look into getting something to soundproof the walls. But anyway, getting on to the topic at hand. Monday night, finally got to officially join our D&D group, which was interesting. My character is really the only one that has any armor or weapons at the current moment, because I am the assistant DM. I'm kind of a plot device for our DM to an extent, so I have more gear because I'm there to help move the story along and keep the party from getting bogged down, I guess, so to speak. And Monday night was a lot of fun. Our group sort of stabilized at the moment. We have a ranger, a druid, a scout, a fighter who's focused on ranged combat, a bard, myself, who's playing a rogue, and I can't remember the other fellow's character. I believe he may also be a ranger. So as you can tell, we're kind of stacked in the ranged department, and we're lacking in a tank, which I think might come back to bite us in the backside at some point. But until that happens, it'll be okay. So my buddy running the game is doing a pretty good job, considering it's his first time running a game of D&D. And the only thing I think I might talk to him about is the difficulty level of DC for traps for a first level party, because some of the traps he threw at us were pretty crazy. And it was all for boxes of cinnamon. That's it. Boxes of cinnamon. But it was a good time. There was good group dynamics and interaction, aside from the fact that two of our party members chose not to come with us on the adventure of the evening. They stayed behind at the pub because we were stealing things, and they felt that morally they could not join in on the stealing of the appropriating of the goods that we needed to appropriate, which didn't really affect the game at all. I mean, they might have had a bit of a boring night just sitting there not doing much of anything. But it's okay, because we got to do stuff, and it was good fun. Found out that it's definitely always good to have a rogue in the party. And it's always interesting to see how people may or may not understand your plans. Because we came to the stairwell that led down into the dungeon, and it was completely dark. Our druid wanted to cast light. He wanted to cast light and carry it down into the darkness with us. And I said, do we have anything we can put light on and throw? And everybody's like, we want to throw the light, man. We want to throw the light. As we throw the light first, we can see what's down there. We can see what we're walking into. And it was a concept that I couldn't seem to get through people's heads. But finally we did it. And they didn't know I had a torch, which was amusing, because after we found out what was down there and went down to the bottom, we couldn't see anymore past a certain point. My character just pulled out a torch and was like, all right, jolly good. Let's continue onward. And I got some flack for that, because they were like, well, why didn't you throw your torch? It's a torch. I don't want to throw my torch. It costs money. The copper piece we threw was a copper piece. Didn't matter. That was kind of the amusing part of the evening, that and the trap. I mean, the group, we went full Hurt Locker. We really did. Because when my rogue found traps that he couldn't disarm, we still wanted to open the chest that they were part of. So we flipped the table, put a mattress behind it, took one of the quarter staffs that the group has been carrying around, and used it to open the chest from a safe distance, which was good because it gave us time to run away from the flame trap that was inside of the chest. Also discovered that a drawer was trapped, and instead of messing around with that, we just flipped the drawers over and smashed into it from the back to grab it. No one said we were subtle, because we're not. And it was generally a good time. There was a lot of joking around, bantering, laughing, which is the nice thing with that group. We're not super serious, but we're not so laid back that you don't get anything done. We can go off and laugh and have a good time and be silly, but we can also bring it back in and keep the story and the flow going, which I think we've struck a good balance now, which makes me happy. But that was Monday night. Last night was my roommate's game, which it's interesting. It's not a genre that really grabs me and pulls me in. It's the setting is the biblical apocalypse, the rapture. So it doesn't really pull me in that much because I'm not into the whole angels fighting demons things. But it's neat to be in kind of at the ground level and working on the system, helping it go from bare bones to an actual system, which that's kind of cool. And I know he's on like the 6th revision, I think, of his rulebook so far, which I need to download and look at because I haven't. The problem I think we're running into is he's having a hard time finding more than just me and the other fellow playing the game, and I don't think he's getting enough opinions about the game, about how people will feel about it, and the fact of the matter that me and the other fellow are somewhat diametrically opposed personality-wise doesn't help things either. Because we're not really inclined to work together because we just see things completely differently. And he annoys he annoys me. I'm sure I annoy him. Though sometimes you just put that aside and you have a goofy, ridiculous moment like last night when the poor DM made a slip of the tongue and, in describing blasts from the guns we had, said huge balls, and the conversation devolved into innuendo and bad attempts at singing AC/DC's Who's Got Big Balls. And at some point there was a fox demon, and I don't know if any of you that watch this have seen or heard the song yet, but again, me and the other player couldn't help but bring up the song What Does the Fox Say? And that was a good 5 minutes of just pure shenanigans there too. Which, it was a good time, and generally it's not a bad time. It's just generally sometimes it feels like we really need to work on things, and sometimes it feels like we don't. The one thing I will say as a player that I feel needs to be addressed is story progression, is making it feel like there's actually a point for us to be there aside from just kill the demons. Because right now it kind of feels like it's just, we'll go kill the demons. And everything else is just this little in between to get you from point A to point B to kill more demons. There's not. Maybe it's because I'm not a biblical guy. I don't know the whole story of the rapture thing. But to me, there's not a whole lot of meat and potatoes in the story there. There's no explanations. There's no background as to who the demons are. And I don't know if that's in part falling on the DM, the GM, the Game Master, for assuming people know all this. or not, but that's something that I think we'll have to address at some point too, is because he's looking to market this to a wider crowd than just his friends, or a very small niche. You have to have some kind of a story that's going to grip people that might not be interested in, the Rapture. Somewhat like myself. If there was an alternate way to use the rules to represent other end of the faith, end of the world scenarios like Ragnarok, things like that, then yeah, I think it'd be a little bit more interesting. Also, the huge disparity in like weapon damages. The guy is currently playing in the group with me. He seems to insist on thinking that he can carry something that is meant to be portable on a light armored vehicle. And it does an insane amount of damage, which is fine if other weapons did a decent amount of damage too, but when your basic weapon that like everybody's supposed to have is only doing like a d6 or d10 damage, and you have this guy who's ripping off like 4 or 5 shots a turn, and each shot does anywhere between 3 and 5 d10 worth of damage, it's gonna skew the challenge level of what's going on for the party. But that's in a nutshell what's going on there. I guess we're playing in Thursday. Maybe the other guy that bounces in and out will be able to make it. It'd be nice to have 3 people. Hopefully someone that I can kind of be on the same plane as, and not the other fellow who is in a different camp than myself. That would be good. I'd appreciate that. But aside from that, I don't know what's going on Friday. I'd like to say that I'm going to be running Pathfinder, but I don't know if I am or not. I haven't heard from everybody. If I am running Pathfinder, I'll let you know how that goes next week. Let's just say that they're in for a surprise. Not a good surprise. It's not going to be like a birthday cake. It's going to be a bad surprise. But that's it for like talking about the games and talking about the game that's coming up. Kind of as a side note, for the Quest for Gaming at college, I've noticed there's a lot of people here that play Magic the Gathering. I might get a deck just to look into getting back into it, but I don't know, because it's a money trap. It is a money trap more so than any miniatures game, at least in my opinion. And some of you out there might think I'm dead wrong, and if you do, that's fine. But my experience with card games is, especially collectible card games, they're a trap. They're a money trap. But that's just my opinion. Another thing related to gaming at college is a buddy of mine in our D&D group has mentioned that he might like to get like a gaming night going where it's just a generic gaming night, which I have nothing going on Wednesday nights, so I may well look into. I told him if he lets me know, I can bring some of the board games that I have up, and we could find out one of the lounges here in the dorms, just set up some board games and see what kind of a turnout we'd have, because I think that'd be kind of cool too. And with Halloween coming up, I might look into doing a one-off, some kind of survival horror roleplay for a group if there's anybody that I can find on camp that would be interested. But that's it for this time around on the Quest for Gaming at College. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Hopefully you like the series. If you do, give us a thumbs up. That's always appreciated. Comments are good. We try to respond to your guys' comments. We really do. Sometimes we're not the best at it because we are in college and things get busy. But I check the inbox for comment updates pretty regularly. If I see there is one, I generally try to say something. Or I know the Lich Lord, he'll try to say something, and if he doesn't say something through the channel, he'll use his own personal channel to respond. So we do appreciate your guys' feedback, and we do read what you guys are telling us. And subscriptions, you guys subscribing to the channel is always appreciated. Makes us happy. You guys don't actually know, but we do like a little happy dance when we see new subscriptions. We're like, woohoo! But yeah, and favoriting. I don't think we've had a video favorited yet, but if we do, that'll be pretty cool. As an aside to like what you might see coming up, I'm getting antsy to do some kind of modeling, like mini stuff again, because we're a gaming channel, and we've been running kind of dry on the miniatures gaming side of things for a while now. So I think this weekend I'm going to try to paint up either some of my nomads for Infinity or a couple of my ships for Dystopian Wars. And if I get those painted up, I'm going to show them off to you guys, just so you can see some of the paint schemes we're going with, and that we're actually still doing mini stuff. I promise. But that's some stuff you have to look forward to coming up on Bullshit Games. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you liked the video, and we'll see you next time here on Bullshit Games.